Now is the screen visible to you?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So at the end of we have seen the cross-bedding structure. Okay. Now we are move further. Now next structure in the sedimentary rock is the graded bedding. Okay. So next structure is the graded bedding structure. Now graded bedding structure. Now we know that all these process of formation of sediment rock is going on either in the desert area or either in the river or in the sea. Okay, but in the river, when the sediments are going to deposited at one particular place. Now when the sediments are deposited, that we know, when the speed of river water get decreases, or when there is a obstacle in the path of that river water, that time the flowing river water, the sediments which are present in the flowing river water get settled down, or we can consider it, this process, as a deposition. That sediments get settled down at one particular place. Okay. Now at the time of deposition, or at the time of settlement of that sediments, what happens in the deposition? Which sediments get settled at the first, which sediments get settled at the later, that we have to know. Okay. Now at the time of deposition, the larger sediments are get settled down first at that place. Next, after the larger sediments, the medium sized sediments are settled down. Okay. And at the last, at the top, the fine sized sediments get settled down. Okay. At the time of settlement. Now, this arrangement you can clearly see here in this rock. At the bottom, you easily recognize the large sediments are there. In the middle, you can see the medium sized particles are there. Okay. And at the top, you can see very fine sediments are there. Okay. So this arrangement in the sedimentary rock, or this structure in the sedimentary rock, where the larger sediments get deposited or settled down at the bottom, followed by the medium sized sediments, and after that we can get at the top very fine sized sediments. This arrangement in the sedimentary rock is considered as a graded bedding. Okay. Now, why this arrangement, will see what is the reason behind that. आता बॉटमला मोठे पार्टिकल्स सेटल होतात, त्यानंतर मिडलला मीडियम साइज पार्टिकल्स सेटल होतात, आणि सगळ्यात
ग्रॅव्हिटी सर,
फाईन साइज, yes, gravity of that sediment. The larger sediment having its own large maximum gravity, that's why they settle first at the bottom. Medium sized particles having medium gravity, that's why they settle at the middle phase, and the fine sized sediments are having very small gravity or density, that's why they are settled at the later, that's why they are present at the top. Okay. So this arrangement in the sedimentary rock is considered as a graded bedding. Okay. Now, next structure that we are going to discuss now, it is a mud cracks. Okay, this structure is considered as a mud cracks, or this structure is also known as a sun cracks. ओके, या स्ट्रक्चरला सन क्रॅक्स किंवा मड क्रॅक सुद्धा म्हटलेलं असतं. आता हे तुम्ही जनरली बघितलेलं असेल. ओके, इन दी फाईन सॉइल साइज्ड पार्टिकल्स इन युअर ऍग्रिकल्चर एरिया ऑल्सो. शेतामध्ये सुद्धा तुम्ही बघितलेलं असेल की ज्यावेळेस तुमच्या त्या सॉइल मधलं वॉटर इव्हॅपोरेट होतं टोटली, so I think you have seen such a type of the cracks in the soil. सॉइल मध्ये अशा क्रॅक्स तुम्ही बघितलेले असतील. ज्यावेळेस वॉटर इव्हॅपोरेटेड होतं त्यावेळेस त्या ठिकाणी काय होतं की अशा क्रॅक्स त्यामध्ये डेव्हलप झालेले असतात. ओके, सो सच अ क्रॅक्स आर कन्सिडर्ड ॲज ए सन क्रॅक्स और मड क्रॅक्स. अँड आफ्टर when that sediments get harder or when that soil particles get converted into rocks, that time it look like this. Okay, these are the cracks you can easily recognize in between the polygons. Different polygons are formed due to these cracks. Okay, now why it is considered as a mud crack and why it is considered as a sun crack? या क्रॅक्स ना मड क्रॅक्स आणि सन क्रॅक्स का म्हटलेलं असेल?
जेव्हा सर पाण्यामध्ये असतो सर मातीमध्ये.
Because small size of particles and sun
Yes.
cracks because of
Yes.
heat revolve.
Yes, exactly correct. Okay, these type of the cracks is considered as a mud cracks because such a type of the cracks or such a type of the structure is only developed in very fine sized particles, that is mud. We know that in the mud very small sized soil particles are there. That's why it is considered as a mud cracks, or it is considered as a sun cracks. Why it is considered as a sun cracks? Because these cracks are developed due to the heat of the sun. Due to the heat or temperature of the sun, the water is evaporated from that small sized particles. That's why it is considered as a sun cracks. Okay, so this is the one of the important structure present in the sedimentary rock, sun cracks, or it is also considered as a mud cracks. Now, next structure we are going to discuss now, it is known as a ripple marks. Okay, ripple marks. Now we know that, just a minute, I want to show you the ripple marks. Okay, so this structure is considered as a ripple mark, or this structure is also considered as a ripple mark. This is ripple mark. Now, what do you know about the ripple marks? The ripple marks means the small wave-like structure, very small wave-like structure formed on the top of the sediment. Okay, सेडिमेंटचा जो सरफेस असतो, टॉप सरफेस, त्या सरफेस वरती बऱ्याच वेळेला असं स्मॉल वेव्ह लाईक स्ट्रक्चर डेव्हलप झालेलं बघायला मिळतं. आय थिंक इफ यू हॅव विजिटेड द कोस्टल एरिया और बीच, इफ यू हॅव विजिटेड द कोस्टल एरिया और बीच वरती किंवा कोस्टल एरियावरती तुम्हाला असं वेव्ह लाईक स्ट्रक्चर त्या सँड वरती तयार झालेलं बघायला मिळतं तुम्हाला. ओके, अँड दॅट वेव्ह लाईक स्ट्रक्चर फॉर्म्ड ऑन द टॉप ऑफ द सेडिमेंट इज कन्सिडर्ड ॲज ए ripple marks. Okay, now why this wave-like structure is formed on the top of the sediment? Because we know that the water is flowing in wave-like direction. That's why the sediments are also present in that water, they are also flowing in the wave-like direction, and the wave-like pattern is developed on the top of the top surface of the sediment, and it is considered as a ripple mark. Okay. Now these ripple marks are of two types. Okay. These ripple marks are of two types. Here, just a minute. I want to show you. Just a minute. I will show you. The ripple marks are of two types. The first type is considered as a symmetrical ripple marks. Okay, and the second type is opposite to that, asymmetrical ripple marks. Okay, symmetrical ripple marks and asymmetrical ripple marks. Okay, now what will be the difference between symmetrical and asymmetrical ripple marks? That I want to show you. Just a minute. So these structure, such a type of the structure is considered as a symmetrical ripple mark, and such a type of the wave-like structure is considered as a asymmetrical ripple mark. Now you can clearly see the difference between symmetrical and asymmetrical ripple marks. Now what is the difference between these two, symmetrical and asymmetrical ripple marks?
पहिला मधील जे अंतर असतं ते सेम असतो सर, आणि
Yes,
दुसऱ्या मध्ये
yes.
ते अंतर वेगवेगळं असतो सर.
Yes, when you look the distances between two crests or two trubs, the distances are more or less same. And when you look here, the distances in between crest and trubs are varying, or these distances are not same. Okay, so here towards the first type, that is in the symmetrical ripple marks, the distance between two crests or two trubs is more or less same, and in the asymmetrical ripple marks, the distances between in the two crests or two trubs is not same. That's why it is considered as a asymmetrical ripple mark. Okay, now what is the reason behind the formation of these two different symmetrical and asymmetrical ripple marks? What is the condition for the formation of symmetrical and asymmetrical ripple marks? आता हे कशामुळे तयार? हां,
वारामुळे सर.
येस. आता flowing wind किंवा flowing water having constant speed and direction, then symmetrical ripple marks are formed. What is the condition? Constant speed and direction जर असेल तर त्या ठिकाणी symmetrical ripple marks तयार होतात. And if the speed and direction is not same, it will be changing from place to place, then in such a area the asymmetrical ripple marks are formed. Okay, asymmetrical ripple marks कधी तयार होतात? जर speed आणि direction जर change होत असेल place to place, then in such a area the asymmetrical ripple marks are formed. Okay, have you understand? समजलं रिपल मार्क्स म्हणजे काय आणि त्याचे दोन टाइप, सिमेट्रिकल अँड asymmetrical ripple marks. Now the next structure in the sedimentary rock that we are going to discuss is the tracks and trails. Okay, tracks and trails. Now this is the example of tracks and trails. Another, this is also example of tracks and trails. Okay, this one and this one. Now can anybody tell me what is it?
सर हे पक्षीचं हे सर, पक्षीवर चालत होतो सर तेव्हा ह्याच्यामध्ये, आणि नंतर ते एक सरपडा प्राणी आहे सर.
Yes,
सरपडा.
correct. Okay, so what is meaning of tracks and trails? The meaning of tracks and trails is that on the loose sediments, the footprints or body shape of the plant of the birds or aquatic animals get preserved on the loose sediments, then that structure which developed on the surface of the sediments is considered as a tracks and trails. म्हणजे तुम्हाला माहिती आहे की बऱ्याच वेळेला काय होतं की जे सेडिमेंट किंवा सँड जी असते त्या सँड वरती काही बरोईंग अॅनिमल्स असतात aquatic मधले, वॉटर मधले असतील किंवा दुसरे बरोईंग अॅनिमल्स असतात, त्यांचे बॉडी शेप्स त्याच्यावरती प्रिझर्व केले जातात किंवा फुटप्रिंट म्हणजे पायाचे ठसे त्याच्यावरती तयार झालेले असतात. आता फुटप्रिंट्स कुणाचे तयार होतात तर बर्ड्सचे फुटप्रिंट्स तयार होत असतील किंवा क्रॅब लाईक aquatic अॅनिमल्स, खेकड्यासारखे aquatic अॅनिमल्स असतात ते सरपटत जात नाहीत, त्यांचे पायाचे ठसे त्याच्यावरती तयार झालेले असतात. आणि बरोईंग जे अॅनिमल्स असतात, बरोईंग म्हणजे स्नेक असेल, त्यानंतर स्नेल असेल किंवा या ठिकाणी आपण एक अॅनिमल बघतो की हा बॉडी पार्ट जो आहे तो कशाचा तयार झालेला आहे, गोम ज्याला आपण म्हणतो, गोम जे असते ते असे सरपटत जात असते आणि त्याचे बॉडी पार्ट्स असे तयार होत असतात त्या सँडवरती किंवा सॉइल साईज पार्टिकल्स वरती. आणि ते ज्यावेळेस प्रिझर्व केले जातात, ओके, त्यावेळेस प्रिझर्व केल्यानंतर त्या स्ट्रक्चरला काय म्हटलं जातं, ट्रॅक्स अँड ट्रेल्स म्हणून त्याला कन्सिडर केलं जातं. ओके, सो दिस इज अबाउट दी ट्रॅक्स अँड ट्रेल्स. Okay, now here we have finished the second type of the rock, that is the sedimentary rock. Okay, from this second unit the only one type of the rock is remaining and it is the metamorphic type of the rock. Okay, it is hardly take 1 or 2 lecture. Within 2 lectures this topic will be finished. Okay, so we will continue this metamorphic